2-year-old Kamokhelo Molefe was born with a condition. It's a rare condition called KCNT1. What is it? Well, a deficiency in sodium and potassium that causes uncontrollable seizures. Right now, and you're going to see the child in just a moment, he's fighting for his life. There is a possible treatment in the United States. His parents, I'm told, have saved around 100,000 rand, but obviously need a whole lot more. Joining me now is the child's father, Tumelo Molefe. Tumelo, good afternoon to you, along with Kamokhelo and also your wife, I understand. Good afternoon to you. Are you with us?
Good afternoon, Jeremy. How are you?
It's good to see all of you. First of all, can you tell us the story when he was diagnosed, and as he sleeps next to you now, how's he doing? What's his condition?
Kamokhelo is still struggling. He's currently on home oxygen. We had to switch off the machine for a bit because he won't be able to hear us. He's on a set monitor where you monitor his oxygen and his heart rate. But what's quite heartening at the moment is that when Kamokhelo is sleeping, as he is right now, or when he's awake, he will cry for 20 hours non-stop. We'll try each and every medication that has been recommended through to us by the specialist, but it's a tough time. It's really tough.
I'm sure it must be absolutely awful and so sad that time is running out. Let's be brutally honest about this. What do you need? What assistance is there for you?
Well, we found pediatric children's hospital in Salt Lake City that specializes in genetic epilepsy. They've done profound research on especially on Kamokhelo's condition. So what we currently need is for us to be able to get Kamokhelo that side. We're currently trying to raise as much funds as possible so that the process, as you said, that he hasn't got much time. We spoke to one doctor the other day. He said that every seizure is actually one too many. Meaning he made an analogy that, if you have 100 rands, every seizure is like losing a 1 rand. So time is really, really running out for him.
He is a miracle baby as well, is he not? He's come close to dying, but you'll tell us that he's a fighter, that he came back from the brink.
He's quite... That's something that has kept us going throughout this 26 months, is that he's quite a fighter. We on the 1st of December 2018, the doctors called us to say, look, it doesn't look good, because Kamokhelo was being put on a vent. He had pulmonary hemorrhage where he was bleeding through the lungs. So the doctors then said, look, I cannot keep on putting Kamokhelo on a vent. It'll be doing more harm than good. So we need to decide, are we keeping him alive for us, or are we keeping him alive for him? And if we keep him alive for him, we really need to look at how much pain Kamokhelo has been on. It was the most painful day of my life. I'll never forget it. And then what happened that day, we signed the end of life form. We left the hospital at around about 11 o'clock, thinking that we might never see Kamokhelo again, or we'll get a phone call in the morning to say that, make funeral arrangements. His saturation rate dropping to just below 69, and the end of life form that we signed to say that if he were to relapse, the doctor shouldn't resuscitate. So in the morning, 5 o'clock the following day in the morning, my wife and I were asking ourselves, did we get a missed call? What's going on? We called the hospital, and that's what Kamokhelo is breathing on his own. And it was such a miracle, Jeremy. It was truly a miracle that we ourselves couldn't believe that, he was literally gone from when he left the hospital. And it made us then look to ourselves and say that, look, Kamokhelo has done, he's fighting for his life, and we as parents, now it's up to us to ensure that in whatever condition he is in, we give him the best that life could offer him in this condition. And we said that we vowed to ourselves that we will never give up. We'll always ensure that we'll do what's best. We said to ourselves as a family that we need to look into Kamokhelo one day and say to him, son, we've tried our best, that is where we are currently.
If he goes, or if you raise the money to end up in the United States, what could that treatment do? My understanding is that it is very experimental.
It is very experimental. However, the amount of research that's been done, even our doctor at the site can attest to it. The amount of research that has been done in the Utah Children's Hospital, because they specialize in drug-resistant epilepsy, which Kamukhelo's condition, the KC21 gene that he lacks in the potassium channel, is a drug-resistant epilepsy. So they specialize in drug-resistant epilepsy, and with the amount of research they have done, there is through therapeutic medication, they can manage his seizures.
Tumelo, do you have a telephone number or a single email in case people, and I know they have, been moved by our conversation, where they might be able to assist you financially?
We have set up a GoGetFunding account that will forward the link to anyone that would like to donate, or also alternatively also raise awareness of, because when we at the family, when we started this journey also, we said that, we want to also be in a position that one day we could help the Kamukhelos out there with the lack of research that's been done on genetic epilepsy here in South Africa. And people can get hold of me on my email. It's Tumelo, my name, Tumelo, the number 2, MI, @yahoo.com.
All right. We will put that up on a strap on our screen a bit later, and we'll make sure that people know about it. You talk about this as a journey. What sort of journey has it been for you and your wife and the rest of your family and friends, your wider circle?
It's been a journey where it has opened our eyes in terms of how people come to life. What I mean by that is that through Kamukhelo we have met very generous, very heartwarming people that have come through. Whenever I even go to Kamukhelo's hospital, when I walk in, from the security guard all the way to the cleaner, to the wards, to the nurses, they all greet me as, "Hello, Mr. Malifi, hello, Mr. Malifi." So the amount of support that we've received in general from the community around us has been overwhelming. The amount of prayers that we've received has been overwhelming. We are currently in a state whereby we believe and we have faith that, Kamukhelo is in our lives for a reason, and we believe that through him so much can be achieved.
Tumelo, I know that you've elected to do the talking, but I know that your wife is sitting next to you. Does she want to talk as well? Is she up to it? Is she okay to do it, or preferably not?
She's someone that's very emotional.
I understand.
And I think a single word from her, she'll cry out loud.
I absolutely respect that. I really do.
My wife has been in my son's bedside from day one. She had to leave her employment because Kamukhelo, Kamukhelo was hospitalized from the second day of birth, and he was in hospital for those first 6 months. In those first 6 months, my wife didn't get to bond with her that much, and it broke her. It really broke her so much. I didn't realize it at first in terms of the amount of time that she was spending with my son in hospital. But she's gone through a journey with Kamukhelo that, as a mother, she stood strong throughout the journey. She when people didn't believe, when people thought that it's a worst case scenario, she kept on having that faith. And I don't think without my wife pulling us through as a family together, we'll be in a position that where we are today, or Kamukhelo will be where he is today without her.
Where do the two of you find your strength?
We found our strength in prayer. We found our strength in our daughter Tiamo. We found our strength through people. Jeremy, it's as I said, it's been overwhelming at the amount of support that we've received from people. You know, we tend to at times take some things for granted, but you know, a single text from someone, you know, sometimes someone from work will ask me, how am I feeling? You know, that word, how am I feeling? It makes me reflect on what I'm going through, but also what we have with Kamohelo. You know, it is painful, but with him and how we've grown through this journey with him, it's a painful. I know this is it's been a painful but blessing journey for us.
Tumelo Molefe, you have our love, you have our best wishes, and we will circle back. We'll check in with you again. Visit enca.com, as you can see on the screen, for details on how to donate 2-year-old Kamohelo Molefe.